Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Welcome to the Fastcast, your weekly podcast of everything football. We got fantasy, we got predictions, we got bets, we got news, you name it. We got it every single Thursday morning at 8 a.m. over on the YouTubes at the Fastcast. You'll find us today. I'm joined here by the Fast Brothers. How are we today,
Ah,
guys?
Garbanzo, woo!
I just got the flu shot today, and I tell you what, ouch.
Yeah, that does not sound fun at all.
It didn't really hurt. Obviously, getting the shot doesn't hurt. I feel ouch. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think I've had the flu shot ever.
I haven't
Damn.
in my entire life before a certain point in my life, and now I have to. So
I see. I see the
yeah,
implications there.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
yeah.
It's a
It sure
forcibly
does.
thing. Like
Yeah.
pants down and everything. Okay,
You know
probably
what's funny?
shouldn't run
Actually,
that far.
I do have a story about that.
Oh gosh. Well,
We
save
can
it
tell
from
that
another time
in a later.
because yeah, what are we going into for week 16? Oh my gosh, we're almost at the end here. What happened, guys, of the NFL season?
Basically, they played games, 15 of them to be exact, and now they're playing 16.
I guess that makes sense if you think about it that way.
If you really sit back and reflect on it. But let's talk about week 16. We're gonna start with the pick'ems as we do every week. The first game of the week is the Denver Broncos and LA Chargers. The Chargers are a -3 favorites. And all these spreads are predicated on DraftKings. So I will say, I don't know how to feel about this. This game actually, I think, took me the longest. This game and one other game took me the longest to decide. And it was really based on the performance last week by the Chargers. Because, oh my golly, Miss Molly, they got whopped. Uh, I think, however, I'm still leaning towards LA. I feel like their offense is more well suited because these are the two best defenses in the league for sure. Their offense is more well suited to win this game, and it's in LA. I like the -3 for the Chargers, so I'm taking it.
Yeah, this one for me wasn't that hard. Um, Ever since J.K. Dobbins went out, the Chargers have looked much worse. And with Justin Herbert's whole story with the most throws without an interception, he's just kind of the guy that plays it safe in the passing game, and I don't think he can do that against the Broncos. I think the Broncos defense is going to be too good. Where I do obviously see them getting points. Lad McConkey is coming out to be a very nice looking rookie. Justin Herbert, I don't know. That it's just the run game for the Chargers for me that I think is really dragging them down. And while the Broncos didn't play an exceptional game last week, I think they could still come out and they have a well balanced team here, and I think their defense is just a little bit better. So yeah, I like the Broncos actually for this one. Give me the first semi whoopsie daisy, and even though it's a close game, and I'm gonna go straight in for it. The money line, go for it.
Well, well, well. I'm right with brother here. This is going to be one of the ones, and man, we can count it. I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic one of the rare occasions Amazon Prime Thursday night football games. We got a divisional matchup, playoff implications. Both these teams, we said they were on lock, but I mean, it could shake some things up. I don't know if the I know I saw a lot of things like all over, like the Bengals have this like recipe. If this team loses, if X team loses, they have to lose this many games. They have to win, like a crazy recipe from them to squeeze in. Um, I don't know if can the Chargers drop off here and the Bengals make it in if they lose the rest of the games. I don't know. Either way, yeah, I'm gonna agree. It's the Chargers. I want to believe in them, just because they're so well coached. Man, they look like a solid, scary team that you don't want to face in the first round of the playoffs. But I'm going to also take the Broncos to win this divisional game going into LA, and I am also, I guess if you want to count it, give me the whoopsie daisy.
Woo! I'm gonna make a bold claim here too. I think this is the speaking on that no Josh Herbert interception. I think this is the first game that he throws one.
Yeah. It's quite the interesting claim.
What happened to the Derrick Henry thing?
Yeah, we don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. On to the next window of games. So Saturday.
Wait, what?
Yes, you like how I did that, huh? You thought I was gonna say Sunday.
Yes.
Duh. Saturday football. You got Saturday football, December 21st. Starting off with a little bit of a banger here. You got the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Black Magic Voodoo Chiefs. We saw again and again and again. Last week was, it was a 2-touchdown game against the Browns. Jameis threw 3 interceptions. And they were bad. They were very, very bad interceptions. One of them was in the end zone. I think another one was close to the end zone, if not in the end zone. I don't really recall. I stopped watching. I hate the Chiefs. Browns aren't fun to watch. So, yeah, last week was actually, I think, their biggest win of the season. Yeah, I think it was, because their previous was 13.
It was.
But I digress. For whatever reason, Houston is the underdog by 3. There's a whole thing right now with Patrick Mahomes' ankle, like a high ankle sprain. If he's going to play, we all know he's going to play. He does this thing where his ankle is hurt every year at the end of the year, and he just walks it
Chris
off, and he
Collinsworth comes
refuses
in.
to come out. Oh my God, I can't believe he's on the field. This dude is built like an iron horse. Yeah, I can't stand him. But even with Patrick Mahomes still playing, I think Houston is going to take this game. I called last week the Chiefs spread because it was very obvious, but Houston's, I think, too good of a team to give them the underdog, even though it is at Arrowhead. So I'm taking the money line and a little whoopsie daisy for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, this game is interesting. The Texans weren't the team I thought they were, and they still really aren't. They haven't really shined, I think, in the past few weeks. But also, the Kansas City Chiefs are also the worst 13-1 team or whatever they are now. It's just, I don't know. Even though they beat the Browns, guys. Look at them. They beat them by more than one score. Everyone celebrate. The Chiefs are great. That's no. This is a kind of interesting one to me because it's going to be a close scoring game, I think, but I would really like to see Houston kind of come out and show what they can do. Maybe make a little bit of a hot streak before they go into the playoffs. But I don't know. For some reason, they've been very lackluster on the offense. And yeah, I don't know. I am going to take the Texans +3 spread. I think it will be a field goal game. If the Chiefs win, it'll still cover. But in the off chance Texans win, then I get the best of both worlds. So give me the +3 for the Houston Texans.
+3 for the Texans. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take the back to back. Give me the whoopsie daisy back to back. They're against a formidable opponent. Now, what I will say is the Chiefs' defense has been. I guess you got to say it's something to talk about because the one game they dropped and they haven't let up 30 points. I think since literally last September. Uh, they don't lose that side of the ball. Their defense, the only team that scored 30 points off of them, happened to be the Bills, and that's their one loss column this year.
Happen to be the Bills, would you? Look at that.
It just happened to fall like that. So with an already, and it's crazy because you look at the Texans and you look at Mixon and the running back, and you're like, wow, that guy's he's him. What a running back they got. And then you look at their quarterback, and you're like, oh my god, C.J. Stroud, he's amazing. Then you look at their wide receiver coming back off IR, and it's like, oh my god, Nico Collins. What an insane! And you're just looking at their offense, and you're like, how do they not score a bajillion points every week? But yeah, it's just exactly what Caleb is like. They're just not the powerhouse that I thought they were. It almost seems like they took almost a half step back from last year. They seemed like they were had the fire of coming in, no one expected them, kind of thing from. But now they're just kind of coasting along. But all that being said about Texans, um, the Chiefs are about the same. You know, there's no firepower behind them. They just squeak out games. When does the luck run out? It runs out this week. Give me a money line back to back. I might as well take a whoopsie daisy for the rest of the pickums because that's the way this week is going. Whoopsie daisy central Texans money.
Do it, you won't.
Maybe.
Okay, well, here's a tester. Let's see if you're a man of your word. Because the next Saturday game, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. This one I have marked down. Ah, man, I don't know. This is one of the other ones that had me kind of sitting here and guessing and really thinking and analyzing. And you're in Baltimore. I predicted a split in this 2-game series against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, which would mean Pittsburgh would have to win this game. Do I really think they're going to win it, though? Do I really think
He did the thing. He did my thing.
are going to win it? And I will tell you, no. I do have them. I do have them at the +6, though.
No.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I have him at +6. TJ Watt is not out for the rest of his life like I thought he was when I saw the injury. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to fall to their knees and cry and hold a memorial service for him because I thought he was out for the season. But he's not. He should be back. Mike Tomlin said he's confident that he will be back. Baltimore is just, I don't know. I mean, like I said before, we've seen them lose against the Browns. We've seen them beat up on teams. They're just one of those teams that I can't really put all my faith in to cover a. This is a sizable spread. I mean, it's almost a touchdown, and not many spreads are that big. Very tough divisional game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the +6, Pittsburgh Steelers, and move on. Try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I won't think about it too much either. What I will say is that these guys are going to go one-on-one. They're going to go one-on-one in their series. Steelers already took one game. I think the Ravens are going to take this one at home. What I will say about the Ravens is that it's almost like flip-flop for these two teams, right? The offense for the Steelers is not exactly great. Obviously, they haven't had Pickens in a couple weeks, but he'll be back for this game. So we'll see. We'll see if they can actually manage some offense in this one. And on the other side, the Ravens, their offense is great. Their offense is fantastic. It's their defense that is really lackluster. So um, it's kind of a matter of, do I think the Steelers' defense is going to be better than the Ravens' offense this week at home in Baltimore? And I don't think so. And, you know, I think most people are going to say that this might be a close game. I think I think the Ravens win this one by one touchdown. So I'm going to take the -6 actually for the Ravens.
We know how they always match up. It's always fun, especially this year, man. What two great teams we have coming into battle here. Baltimore at home. They got a full 6 points, man. That's a lot of points, especially for a divisional game, and how these teams have been shaping up against each other. And guess what, guys? We're gonna keep on the same path here for the third game,
Oh my
and
God.
for the third week in a row. You thought I was gonna take a whoopsie daisy. I'm absolutely not. Ravens by a million. Give me a -6.
Dang!
Uh, I see what you did there. Okay.
You
Okay.
actually almost got me there.
Ravens -6.
And now we're getting a little bit normal. Because we're talking about Sunday night football. First game on the slate is the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders. You get a -3.5 spread via DraftKings for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll tell you what, this one's easy. I think. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at 3.5. It's got to be. I mean, they haven't hit that, 2023 Philadelphia Eagle. Whatever you want to call what happened last year was. It's just they're on a roll. They're winning games. Saquon reverse hurdle 360 YY no scope man is just playing lights out. So I'm gonna take Philly -3.5.
Just finished my bag of pistachios. I feel like I've ascended on a new level, on a new plane above everyone else. I got a little insight from my third eye into this next upcoming game of the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles. And then, let me tell you right now, this game is not even going to be close. You think divisional matchup, Eagles, Commanders. Last time they played, it was a really close game, down to the wire. It's in Washington. Commanders have a shot. Give me the +3.5 easily for the Commanders. No, guys. Let me tell you, Eagles are gonna take this game. They're gonna show and prove why the Commanders are fraudulent. Why they can only beat up on the under 500 teams, just like the Miami Dolphins. Haha, Miami Dolphins fans. Ha ha ha. Anyways, yeah, Eagles -3.5. Third eye told me so I'm rocking with it.
Here is what I don't like about the situation. First of all, the Cowboys have no chance to make the playoffs. Second of all, I think the Eagles here are too under talked about, if that's a phrase or word or whatever you want to call it. They're number one seed contenders, guys. They've only lost 2 games. They're up there with the Detroit Lions, who seemingly are the powerhouse of the NFL this year. And also with the Minnesota Vikings, who have also only lost 2 games. These guys are sneaky hot. No one talks about them. And they win a lot of games. And I think at this point of the season, and you look at them, it's like, these guys, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You can put them in Super Bowl contender slot. And I don't think they drop a game here to the Commanders. I think they've easily won the division for the past however many years, especially now. End of the season, playoff implications ready, going for 1 seed. I got a -3.5 as well. I like what the Eagles are doing, even though I hate them. But yeah, give me a -3.5 for this game.
-3.5 across the board. It's It's a clean sweep. Philadelphia Eagles, don't let us down. On to the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Cleveland Browns. Browntowns. Jameis Winston is now sitting. He is one of the more fun quarterbacks to listen to in pregame and postgame conferences, interviews. He's a very upbeat individual. But now he's sitting on the bench, so he's probably going to have a little frowny face. Playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who is way too good for me not to take the -7.5. So I will take it. Yeah, and that's that. Ohio battle. Is this really even a home game? How far away is Cleveland from Cincinnati?
Maybe we can get some boop 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 boop. What's a driving distance, Cleveland to Cincinnati?
'Cause
Yeah,
You
I'm
know-
glad you mentioned that. The good old state of Ohio. This is a classic. You gotta like this one,
was like-
even though
3 weeks ago, Pittsburgh had to play. They lost to Cleveland, and then had to play Cincinnati, like back to back. Like, why even go home? Just stay in Ohio.
It is a 3 hour and 48-minute drive, 248 miles. It is literally the opposite ends of the state. It is the southwesternmost part of the state for Cincinnati, northeasternmost part
I
for
mean
Cleveland.
3 hours. Do you think they even take a plane, or
4.
do you think a lot of people take the?
No, they
No, they'll
No,
drive a
yeah.
bus. They go bus.
they'll take the bus.
Yeah. But yeah, this game. They're starting DTR, and he's gotten a few kind of looks already in the season. When Mr. Massage Man was kind of going at it. But what I'll say about him is that he looked actually pretty okay in the preseason. I think he had a few cool little things he did, but with his actual starts, when it came down to it, he did not look that great. And the Browns already are not that great. And I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are still those guys. I think they're gonna dog walk all over the Browns. Give me the -7.5 for the Bengals.
I'm gonna simply agree, man. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I think he's pretty good. I like Jamar Chase a lot. I think he has a potential argument for JJ.
No.
I really do. I really think there is a conversation to be had about top dog. Yeah, I mean, they're good.
Nope.
They're good. I'd love to. We'd have to look at it a little deeper, but I think there's a conversation for sure. Give me the Bengals -7.5 as well, and yeah, I mean, the poor Browns, man. This is horrible. This is sell the franchise mode, guys. But yeah, the
Been
Bengals
saying
know
it.
that they have to win out, even though there's absolutely no shot whatsoever. They had their chance, and yeah, they just didn't pull through. And they're one of those strong teams that should have been there that just aren't going to make the playoffs this year. That's what happens in the NFL, guys. Every week matters. That's why you can't be sleeping in the first half of the year like they do all the time. But yeah, give me the Bengals.
All right. Next game is a battle of two cities I would never live in. The Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Good God, get me away from there. This one is kind of tricky. It seems kind of obvious up front,
Good
but
Yeah.
God, get
Good God, get me away from there.
oh my God. That's kind of brutal.
well, it is what it is, you know? It's no thanks.
Good God. Oh my God. Sorry. Go ahead.
This one's kind of tricky. Face value, it seems obvious Detroit is an absolute powerhouse of a team. However, we have seen Chicago do some weird things against really good teams. They're on
Yeah.
a 8 or 9 game losing streak. Yeah, they only lost by 3 against the Vikings and the Lions in back-to-back weeks. Lost by 1 against the Packers. That 3-game stretch right there, oh my God. Packers, Vikings, Lions. Lost by 1 to the Packers, 3 to the Vikings, 3 to the Lions. That is actually that's pretty insane for me, to be honest with you. Keeping it that close against really, really, really good football teams. However, last week they lost to the Vikings pretty bad. Pretty bad. And now they got the Lions again, back to back. Why? Why do they deserve this?
Those are the Bears.
Vikings, Lions, back to back. In a 5-week span, they had to play the Vikings, the Lions, back to back. Twice. Oh my God. But I'll say this. I don't think they're keeping it close. I think the -6.5 is the play here. I think Chicago is not a fun place to be. Not a fun team to watch. They had the pieces there, and it just fell apart. Give me the -6.5, but keep me away from these two cities.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, go Bills last week playing against the Lions, putting up all those points. Um, I do honestly feel really bad for the Lions because this is like their year. Everyone's, hey, we got a new team coming up, possible Super Bowl like winner top team, and then they get 22 people on their IR. 22. That's like almost half of their team is on the IR, and mostly on the defensive side. So that is extremely unlucky for the Lions. But I mean, that being said, they're still hanging in there. Their offense is still fantastic. I know David Montgomery went out, so he'll be out for the rest of the season. But they still have a really good back, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's gonna carry me in fantasy now. Thank you. I did have David Montgomery too, but now with just one, oh wow. But yeah, I think they're still a very good football team. As with the Bears, they are just not. And so, yeah, I'm going to take the -6.5 for the Lions.
Yeah, I am too. This one, they're not going to take lightly this time. And yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see about the Gibbs thing, to be honest with you, because they did a lot of share back. It almost is going to be, since he's like going to be the full workhorse kind of thing, almost gives me the vibes of like Zeke and Tony Pollard, where Tony Pollard looked absolutely incredible when he had a share back and he was the elusive back and you give it to him and he runs for 30 yards a carry. You're like, oh my God, why don't we put this guy in all the time? Look how amazing he is. We put him in all the time and he blows. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see towards the end of the year here. And yeah, I mean, Gibbs is great, but is he the like run it down the middle, head down, crush into the line for the touchdowns like Montgomery is? We'll have to see. Or if Dan Campbell comes up with something crazy, which he always does, especially onside kicks 12 minutes ago, only down 10, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, dude.
I'm also going to take a -6. They're not going to take this game lightly, and they have 1 seed on the line. I don't see them really dropping any games for the rest of the year. I think they got to lock it down, and I think they know that. Give me the Lions.
Give them the Lions. Why don't you? Just give it to them. -6.5 lock for all 3 boys. That's a clean sweep. Moving on to the LA Rams and the New York Jets. LA Rams -3.5. Jets suck. Sell the franchise. Moving on.
Oh, wow. Actually, the Jets actually did all right last week, I mean, Devonta Adams kind of went absolutely crazy. That was pretty cool, right?
Who'd they play?
Uh,
Who'd they play? Who is it?
But hey,
Ah.
I mean, it's still, you know, yeah. I mean, the Rams,
Mm,
right? They could put 44 points up on the board and then, not score a single touchdown the next week. But that's
mhm.
just because well. So you never know. Maybe they don't put up points against the Jet. Just kidding. Give me -3.5 for the Rams as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going to safely take that one too. Guess what, guys? The Rams are scary. They're on top of the division now. Who would have ever saw that one coming? But yeah, Rams
Uh,
actually lead the division. The
yeah.
3 weeks left, the playoff run for them is in their hands, and they gotta win this one. So yeah, give me a -3.5 as well.
It's funny to me that they're on top of the division, and I look at their point differential, and it's way worse than the entire division.
Yeah, and that's to mention that too. They always play that way against the 49ers.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really count them against them for not scoring, because guess what? Neither did the Niners. But hey,
Correct.
a win's a win.
A win is a win. That's the Chiefs about it. Anyway, on to the Cardinals and Panthers. The Cardinals at a -4.5. Panthers are the underdog this week. Last week they were not. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartbreak. -4.5 of the Cardinals is pretty much a lock, in my opinion. The Panthers don't really know how to play football. And that's where we're at. Think
Keep
double
me away
XP.
from there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The
Carolina.
double XP weekend, I believe, is over. I don't really know, though, because I've been playing Marvel Rivals like crazy. Call of Duty is a figment of my imagination at this point until Marvel Rivals falls off a cliff, which I don't think it ever will. Anywho, -4.5 for the Cardinals. Next.
Yeah, me too. I doubted the Cardinals last week. That was one of my misses, and so I'm not gonna do it again. So yeah, -4.5 for the Cardinals. Yippee!
Good God, get me not. Yeah, I'm gonna take the same. And man, should I have trusted the Dallas Cowboys last week? I really thought that line was looking like someone had something cooking, but they probably got fired for putting that line out there publicly. So yeah, give me the Cardinals as well. We're gonna agree once again for like the 5th game in a row. Yep, that's it.
I have a feeling that's about to change. Not gonna lie to you. Atlanta Falcons, New York Giants. Let's talk about it. The Falcons are very not good. They are the most mid of Middington mids. Like, what are we doing? New York Giants are a lot worse than mid. They're already eliminated, fighting for that first round draft pick. They're number 1. As it stands, a 9-game losing streak for the Giants. The spread is
Oh,
+9.
speaking of 9-game losing streaks, I wanted to mention a couple games back in the Bears. I saw a thing on Twixter. The image of when the guy was doing like the Fortnite dance or whatever in the corner, like pumping up the crowd during the Hail Mary against the Commanders. They're 0-8 since that moment. They
Oh
have
my
not won a
God.
game since after
Yeah.
they did the cheer before the play thing. So I thought I mentioned that. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But
That's
sorry,
pretty funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Get me away from there, though. Um, I don't like this game at all. With 9's a pretty big spread for a very not good team. Also, update for this week that I just came across my desk not too long ago. Kirk Cousins riding the pine. He's sitting the bench. He was benched for Michael Penix Jr. So this is cool. I think it's a good time to do it. We had this conversation in the beginning of the year about swapping quarterbacks, when to sit them, when's the right time, when to bring them back in. The worst team in football, one of at least, and you get to start against them. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is terrible. You are in Atlanta, which I think will make it a little bit easier. Michael Penix Jr. is your starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons against the New York Giants. So I don't like the spread mainly because I don't know how well he's going to flow with the scheme and the offensive players and stuff like that. I think he's only had like 4 snaps this year. Give me the spread at +9 for the Giants. I think they still lose the football game. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is a eyeball avoider.
Yeah, I would say eyeball avoid. I do want to keep my eyes on it a little bit just to see how he does, the rookie. But you know, if it was Kirk Cousins, then yeah, absolutely, I would have said eyeball avoid 100%. Uh, this game, just like you said, it's kind of I'm not entirely sure how well he's gonna do. Um, I will say the only good thing about the Giants is their pass rush. So that might affect Penix just a little bit. But yeah, I mean Falcons were that mid team for me, but they've dropped a little bit below that. Now they're just kind of bad, which is kind of sad. I think they had the talent to do good. It just I have no idea. That team is just kind of one of those teams that just I don't know struggles for seemingly no reason. The Giants are, besides the pass rush, are complete garbage. I don't even know who's their starting quarterback. I know Tommy DeVito was, and then he wasn't, and then he was, and then he wasn't, and then now Tim Boyle is doing the thing, so maybe he is. I don't really know. I don't think it really matters. What I will say is I think the Falcons are going to win. So yeah, there's that. But I don't know. Maybe Penix Jr. is just an absolute living legend and is going to put up 900 points against the Giants. But I'm going to go against that odd and say that it's going to be kind of close. So I'm going to go with the Giants +9. And if you're betting on a full spread, I would almost rather go with the money line just because I have no idea. But for the Falcons, but we're just going to go with the spread for the extra risky business.
Yeah, cool. I like it, and yeah, I think it's gonna be really exciting. I would put this as an eyeball avoider for sure. And we forgot to do game of the week, which I think is gonna be either the Thursday night game or the divisional 4:30 Saturday. We can't have Saturday as game of the week. What in the world? So yeah, give me Thursday Broncos Chargers game of the week because we forgot to do that. But eyeball avoider of the week. We're gonna mark it down here. Michael Penix is going to be is the starting quarterback. And yeah, give me
You're
a
a
-9.
child.
Give me a -9 because, guys, the Giants are trash. Okay? They're not going to win a game. They're going for the number 1 in something. They got to get the first draft pick. They don't even have a quarterback. Michael Penis is going to be. This is literally
Michael
the.
Penis.
In my opinion, the absolute perfect game for him to start. Not only has he watched 50-year-old Kirk Cousins the whole season, but you're against the crappy Giants. Do they have a pass rush against the O line? Maybe, but you get pressure in an NFL game, in a real setting, real game. This is literally a perfect recipe for him to start. And even if it is a slow start, I don't think the Giants score any points with their no quarterback. Give me the Falcons -9.
Okay, let's go to the game that I really had trouble kind of deciding on. The Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. I can't really tell you why I had so much trouble deciding what I was going to pick here. I saw one play that the Colts ran last week, and I basically counted them out for the rest of the year.
They tried to do a Dan Campbell special.
They did, and it was terrible. It flopped, and it costed them 6 points. Not because they didn't score on the play, but because the Broncos did. I don't. I was baffled when I saw it, and I was really hoping that Red Zone would not show them on the screen again, to be honest with you.
Would you call that a stellar defensive play, though?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Dude, no. That was. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing there. I don't know what anybody's thinking. It makes me want to pick the Titans' money line. Mason Rudolph is going to be starting this game. Will Levis is benched. He's a walking meme. So at this point, do I go with the meme team or the meme team? There's memes all over the place. Because last week, against the Broncos, meme, Tennessee Titans have the meme boy. I'm going to go. I don't know. I still don't know. I have Titans at plus 3.5 here, and I think that's what I'm going with, to be honest with you. Yeah, I give you the Titans plus 3.5.
Wow, that one play really dragged you away that much, huh?
Dude, it hurt. It hurt my soul.
Yeah, for me, this is my
Speaking of
eyeball avoider of the week. Eyeball avoider of the week. Yeah, this game is gonna be trash, garbage, awful, horrendous. And yeah, I mean, the Colts still do technically have a chance. They are the first ones on the bubble right now, even over the Dolphins, even though they have the same record, and even over the Bengals, even though they have the same record. They're currently at a 10% chance of making the playoffs. So maybe they come out going, "Hey, we got to win this game." But and probably not. That's okay. Yeah, give me the Titans plus 3.5. I think it's gonna be a close game. The Colts I think are gonna win this game, regardless. But yeah, I don't see too much offense happening in this game. So yeah, give me the Titans plus 3.5.
I do like the Titans' defense, and defense wins games, according to the Chiefs. If anything were to happen, Titans should be also, 13-1 now because their defense is so good. So I don't know why they are not doing so well. Probably because of Meme Boy. Speaking of memes, that Colts play, it reminded me of the guy that's like all happy and smiling in the first panel, and then it goes to the next panel is a completely straight face. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? That meme where he's like, and then it's just like, what? Like, anyway, yeah, that's exactly what that play was. But yeah, give me the Colts minus 3.5. Yeah, I'm liking the end of the season here. Same thing. Desperation mode. You got to win, and I think 3 points, 4 points. Yeah, I think I'm gonna score on the Titans here. Kind of same thing. Quarterback situation. Who's gonna go? You put in Will Levis and throw 3 interceptions, or you go with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because it's Christmas time. Maybe he has some Christmas
Ooh.
magic in the game. But yeah, give me the Colts.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so moving on to the 4:05 window. Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks. Wow. Yeah, Minnesota Vikings I have listed down here as the minus 3.5 as my pick. The more I look at it, the more confident I am. Minus 3.5, Minnesota. Not much to say about it. Seattle is fighting. However, Seattle is neck and neck here with the Rams. Fighting for that number 1 spot in the godforsaken NFC West. Division's terrible. We know the Rams are going to win. Possibly going to win. Any given Sunday. Anything can happen. Okay? But I think Minnesota's too good for Seattle to be like, hey, this is a big win for us. We got to have it. Let's go get it. It's not that easy. So give me the Vikings minus 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna also go agree with the Vikings minus 3.5 here. I think it'll be a semi decent game, and it is riding on if Geno Smith will be able to play, which it is looking likely that he will. He went down with this little knee injury or whatever. Um, if Sam Howell had to play, then this game I'd go with the Minnesota Vikings minus 21, and that is solely just due to the amount of points from pick sixes in the game that would occur. Yeah, I'm still sticking with the Vikings minus 3.5. But you could even increase that if Sam Howell is playing. Go with the minus 21 for the Vikings if he's playing. Yeah, I'll keep it nice and short for that one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna do the
What just
Vikings
happened?
minus 3.5, and I remember I was talking to you a little earlier, brother. It reminded me with his knee. My kneecaps are unaligned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna take them. And this is another team, guys. They're 1 seed contenders. They've only lost 2 games. I think a lot of people overlook them for that, and they are a good football team. Let me tell you, these guys. I'm also going to put them in the slate. You never know what happens. They're a good, solid football team. They win a lot of games. They could be contenders. I think a lot of people are writing them off as non-Super Bowl contenders. I think this is a team that can actually go to the Cereal Bowl. Yeah, minus 3.5. Give it to me. They're going to win this game.
Oh, I'll give it to you. It's yours. The minus 3.5 for the Vikings. There you go, brother. I'll give it to you.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Anyway, let's talk about the biggest spread shared, actually, tied for first of the week. A 14-point spread for the best team in the National Football League.
Don't worry, I'm already writing it down.
Next. Just kidding. The Buffalo Bills against the New England Patriots. Now, this is the part of the year that is going to be very fun for me, and I'll tell you why. The Buffalo Bills have the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots left to play. Are we at the point where we start sitting starters already? You have a chance at number 1 seed. Kansas City's schedule, the next 2 games is rough. They play Saturday, and then they play Wednesday on Christmas Day. They just played Sunday. They play Saturday. Play again on Wednesday. Not a good look. I mean, it is for us. Because the Chiefs might end up dropping a game because of it. I digress. 14-point spread for the Buffalo Bills against one of the worst teams in the National Football League. And I will say this, it's a huge spread. I don't like big spreads. It's very scary. But give me the alternative minus 28 for the Buffalo Bills.
I knew that was coming.
Divisional game, though. Who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of divisional game, for my second.
Nope.
No. I can't even fool you guys. That was so silly, guys. Bills by $1 billion. Go next.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Well, sometimes whenever the Bills have a bad game, you're like they're losing every game for the rest. So yeah, you really never know when it comes to what you're going to throw in for the bets. I am also, if by the way, sneak peek. I'm gonna have this. I'm glad you mentioned it. The starter thing. I was always a fan of not sitting the starters whatsoever. You got to play out the year. I mean, the Bills still have something to play for. You never know. The Chiefs could drop a couple games. They got the head-to-head. You never know. Got 3 weeks left. Anything can happen. Any given Sunday. Gonna happen. 1 seed. Implications. Never know.
What just happened in my ear?
But I also have the Bills minus 14, guys. And I'm sneak peek going into when it's going to be my hosting thing in a couple weeks. That's going to be my It's Okay, It's Not Okay to do the starters. And if you're listening this far and you're listening to this right now, any viewers, drop a comment in the comment section right now. Just the word garbanzo beans. And then you never know. Something could happen. Just we'll
2
see.
words.
We'll see who's listening. 2 words, garbanzo, space, beans. Put it in there. All right,
If you put space, that makes it 3 words.
Bills minus 14. Give it to me.
Oh, don't write the word space. Got it. Garbanzo space beans. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be pretty sweet, actually. Let me see that. Let me get NASA in here and let me see some garbanzo space beans.
Somebody draw a sketch of garbanzo space beans.
Just leave it in the comment.
Please do. Anyway, 425 game again. The Niners and Dolphins. This one's a pick 'em. It's a 1-point spread. This one is actually pretty easy for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am 100% taking Miami -1.
Dang, son, that was really quick. You didn't even give me time. Yeah.
What's
So
happening?
basically, what I was thinking is
We're all just breaking.
this is
Garbanzo space beans.
this is a football game, and if you know anything about football, 2 teams play against each other, and you have to pick which one you want to win. That is what happens, and so that is what we are striving to do here today. I have to pick my team, and so in this fancy little 425 matchup, December
Explaining this
22nd.
when we're like 3/4 of the way through the pick'ems.
I think my pick here is going to be also for the Miami Dolphins. And let me Bills fan here. We're a divisional rivals, so this is hard for me. However, I'm still going to stick with the Miami Dolphins here because I think they're going to win this. I think they're going to have more points than the opponents, the San Francisco 49ers, this game. So that's
Nice.
why I'm going to pick them -1.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree -1. You know when you said that's what we are doing here today, you sounded like the lady announcer from Backyard Baseball. I think, yeah, if anyone knows, But yeah, give me
Sunny
Miami
Day, I think her
-1
name
too.
is.
But I think both these teams are pretty much out of the picture here, so this is a meaningless game to be honest with you. But 49ers 2 injured. Dolphins might have a little fire behind them. They think they have something to play for. Plus, they have the best quarterback back there throwing it. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins -1.
No, he sucks.
Okay.
I really wish there was a face cam on me so you guys could see what I just did with my face when Justin just said that.
Or at least
Same record. What?
if you're gonna pick a quarterback to glaze, at least pick a cute and handsome one like Baker Mayfield.
Anyway, I'm uncomfortable. 425 again. For the 3rd time this week. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders. It's another pick 'em back to back. This is an eyeball avoider. Possibly the eyeball avoider of the week.
Yeah, I take the one back. I said this is 100%.
I was just thinking the same thing. I
Yeah.
forgot this one existed.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
stamping it.
I usually block the horrible things out of my mind, and now that I'm reminded of this horrible thing, yeah.
This one
Yeah.
can be deleted from the 425 slot, and I don't think anyone would notice.
They could literally play this game in like the middle of June and nobody would watch it.
Yeah. Who you got?
Dude, I don't know. I'm just gonna close my eyes, spin a random wheel on the internet, and just let it pick. No, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars money line. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just it's a pick 'em. The Raiders suck. Jacksonville sucks. I will say though, if the Raiders win this football game, if that's what you want to call it, a football game, the Giants will 100% have the 1st round draft pick. Well, they won't have it, but because if the Giants win too, the Raiders, whatever, they'll be in position to have the first draft pick of the 2025 season.
It's kind of cool. I wonder who they'll go for. They need a running back.
They do need. They need God.
They need a quarterback too.
They need everything.
Oh man.
The team is abysmal. I don't know. Jacksonville money line. Why not? Send it. Go.
Yeah. So like, my thought process here is, which team has better players, and no, just no. There's
Yeah, Caleb. What team has better players?
Brock Bowers, or or Brian Thomas Jr. And I don't. I mean, it's really a tough. I mean, if I if I had to pick a team to win
Today, Junior.
against their opponents in a football game, because that's what we're meant to do for the pick'ems.
Oh god.
I think
Here we go.
it could possibly, maybe even possibly be the Jags.
Somebody hit Control Alt Delete on them.
So you're picking the Jags?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Guess so.
Sure.
Cool. That sounds good to me. I actually feel good for the Raiders. They're actually the favorites by a point. They're -1. Give me the Jags.
Okay. Okay,
Jags
buddy.
+1. I'll take the point.
820. We're only doing the pick'ems, dude, and I feel like my brain is upside down. 820. Tampa, Dallas. Tampa just put on an absolute clinic against the Chargers last week. I didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. It was surprising and, for lack of a better term, an ass whooping that was delivered. This week they have the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World, where the Cowboys are 1-6.
I was just about to ask, have we even won a home game?
Yeah. Against the Giants, I'm pretty sure.
Correct.
1-6.
Thanksgiving. That's right. Thanksgiving Day. How could I forget?
1-6 against teams at home, and now you're playing Tampa. This one I feel like is the marquee matchup for Justin because he lives in Tampa and he's a Cowboys fan. So what do you do here, brother?
I'll tell you when it's my turn.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sometime today, Junior. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel to be ridiculed while you're
To be honest, you were a bully to him.
Anyway. Caleb is a bulby. For my second whoopsie days of the week, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
What a big old silly goose. Trayvon Diggs is out again. Mike Evans still needs his 1,000 yards, so he's going to go for about 200 this game. It's going to be such a clinical show by Daddy Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to put up 90 points against the poopy brown, poopy trash Dallas Cowboys. Poopy stains all over their white. Anyways, yeah. Tampa -4. All day, every day. Let's go. Whee!
Yeah, I think the average is he needs 84 yards for the last 3 games.
Correct. Yes.
To get over 1,000, which is definitely going to happen this game. Yeah, I don't see. And honestly, I hope we do lose, just because. I want Jerry. I want the camera to pan to Jerry as we're down by 30 points at home again, just to see his face. I love it. I love to see.
Yeah, that shit is always comical. Actually,
I just want to see it. I want to see the absolute madness in his
eyeballs
as he's looking at the scoreboard. Just because
when they panned to him after that punt, the punt turnover against the Bengals, that was the funniest thing ever. Oh man.
yeah, I don't think there's. I don't think we win this game. I'm gonna take Bucks -4. In 1-6, only win against the Giants, home team. Jerry World ceiling falling off, no curtains. Yeah, give me the Bucks.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, to Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints against the Green Bay Packers. The New Orleans Saints are bad. The Green Bay Packers are not. Could you imagine being third in your division with a 10-4 record?
This is December Eve, by the way, or Christmas Eve.
What did you just say to me?
Christmas
December Eve.
Christmas Eve.
If you guys can't tell, our brains are melting out of our faces. December Eve is the way to guess it. It is Christmas Eve, December 23rd. Christmas is on Wednesday. This game is on Monday. 14 points is, you're welcome, the tied with, like I said, the largest spread of the week. And I don't like big spreads. However, I did take it with Buffalo. And what I'm doing here is not the same thing. I'm going to take the plus 14 for the Saints this week.
You know what I just thought of? It's going to be
spreads.
really weird next week because there's Christmas Day games, and we're going to be recording the day before, and then the game will have happened, and then no one would have listened because it comes out Thursday morning. So it's going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of... We'll have to figure that out, but yeah, go ahead.
We're just gonna do it as is, and pretend that we know. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. For me, I love big spreads. Big spreads are nice and yummy.
Okay,
Especially when
buddy.
there's a very wide range of food for spreads. Oh man, I just go crazy. I'm all for the buffets and those big spreads. But in terms of pick'ems, I also don't like these the big spreads. They're scary. If I were to put money in on this, I'd be afraid because of how large of a spread it is. But I like this one here. I think the Packers are a great team. They have a great defense. The Saints are probably going to go right back to the Rizzler after the other guy I can't even remember his name. It's still relevant to me, but Mr. Rizzler, man, almost brought him back in that game. So, but they're going to go back to him, and then they're going to realize that they have no quarterback again when he doesn't do well again. And so yeah, I think the Packers are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win pretty big. Go the Packers, -14. Whee!
Yeah, me too. Packers -14. I'm not afraid of it, and this is another one of those just... Man, can you remember in the first 2-3 weeks of the season, we were like, oh my gosh, the Saints, guys. Wow, they have 100 points in 2 weeks. These guys are the real deal. Now look at them. Yeah, they don't even have a quarterback. Yeah, give me the Packers -14.
Yeah, now they stink.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, huh? All right, so there are your pick'ems for the week. Lock them in, earn your money. Don't listen to some of us, or all of us. We're all kind of delusional. We just talked about Garbanzo space beans for 5 minutes. Take that as you will, I guess. Let's move on to some football. Some college football? Let's talk about it. Recently, the awards came out. The big one that everyone looks forward to is the Heisman Trophy. Now, to me, I will say I thought there was a clear-cut candidate to win the Heisman. That person did not end up winning. Travis Hunter won the Heisman. And I want to hear from you guys a little bit on... Because we had conversations, and this is really the reason that I want to talk about it, is because we've been having the conversation pretty much every week about the MVP trophy being a quarterback trophy, Josh Allen, and why it kind of correlates to the Heisman and how similar the voting is. So Travis Hunter got the Heisman. So I want to hear from you guys, your opinions, your takeaways, your reactions to him getting the Heisman over somebody who I thought was much more deserving.
And I know you didn't say names, but that other guy was Ashton Genty. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic in the running game. I mean, come on, he was putting up numbers greater than Derrick Henry, up with the names of like the best of the best people that are in the Hall of Fame in the NFL right now, and he's crushing their records, getting close to their records. And every single one of those people that he surpassed won the Heisman when they did what he did. Um, and so it's kind of like, okay, yeah. I mean, if everyone else won it, then he's got to win it because he's crushing their records. But he didn't because of someone who plays on both sides of the field, which is pretty cool. Yeah, he gets a lot of cardio in. He is pretty solid in both sides of the field, right? I'll say that. But it's just I don't know. This one was it's kind of weird to me. I could see it either way, I guess. I mean, it is very rare that you find an athlete who is good on both sides of the ball who can do as much as what Travis Hunter did. But here's a fun fact too: is actually Ashton Genty was on 95% of the ballots that were cast, and Hunter was only on 93.3% of the ballots. So technically he was on more of the ballots, but still lost. And that's probably just because he got more second places or, third place votes. But, anyways, yeah. I think I don't know. I think this year was kind of a popularity contest to me. I think Genty definitely deserved to be a Heisman. And honestly, if I had to say, I'd say they're almost deserve to be two. They're both great. They're both fantastic athletes. Obviously, what Genty did was fantastic, but you don't see many people rocking both sides of the field and being as good as they were. So I don't really watch college football all that much. I mean, I follow it, but I think it's I think it was fine. I think what they did was fine. Even with the whole popularity contest, I think either of them could have won it, and I wouldn't have really minded. That's my take.
Yeah, my take is, I don't tune in too much to the college thing at all, not that much. I am for the new format, though, the new playoffs they have going in. But the thing for me is, I thought the Heisman is a running back thing. Is it not? Is it an offensive thing? Like,
Yeah, no,
what is actually the Heisman Award? Is that not a running
it's
back
literally
award?
just no, it's basically just essentially the best college football player of the year.
So an MVP award.
Yeah, Manti Te'o almost won
Notoriously
it.
hasn't running backs only won it. I thought this was the Heisman was the guy, the trophy that has the football, right? The guy, football tucked with the arm, the stiff arm thing. That's the trophy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one. Jaden Daniels won it last year. Caleb Williams won it the year before. Bryce Young the year before
Oh, I
that.
see.
So
Okay.
it's pretty much a dominated quarterback award.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things on a Twixter on it. The Ashton Gene T should have definitely. I mean, I just looking at it and not being like a college guy and seeing it and just looking at numbers and what they've done is like, how, how did he not win? Is my question. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the process is to give it to Hunter there. I think it's got to be his dual play. We've never seen that before. I don't think there's ever been a player that's ever done that. So that probably had a huge factor into it. But that's my thoughts on it. I don't really have a huge say in it because I don't watch it too much. But definitely Gene T by the the numbers of it. Definitely should have won. And I know I'm butchering his name, but I probably shouldn't do that. But yeah, for
That's
me,
pretty close.
it looks like he definitely should have won.
To me, there's and the reason I wanted to talk about this, I know none of us really sit down and watch college football very much, right? But to me, the Boise State Broncos or 12-1 overall. They had one singular loss in the entire season by 3 points to the only undefeated college football team in college football, Division I college football this year. The only undefeated team, the Oregon Ducks. They lost by 3 points. I will say this. A lot of times when there's a toss-up at Heisman, you look at their division, you look at who they're playing against, you look at the record, which is kind of synonymous to our talks about the MVP voting, Josh Allen,
The first
and
ever
you
12-team
see
college football playoff
basically
bracket is
the
here.
difficulty
The
of
first ever
schedule.
12-team college football playoff bracket
I
is
think that was kind of taken away because the Mountain West and the Big 12 are not good conferences. But in large part, the Boise State Broncos got to where they are because of Ashton Jainty. The Colorado Buffaloes, Travis Hunter played both sides of the ball most of the game, every game. But Shadur Sanders, Deion's son, I think is more of a headline than Travis Hunter when it comes to offense. It's very hard to say. It's very, very hard to say. I don't want to speak too much on their abilities because I don't really watch as much, but I'm going to say Ashton Jainty is the only one on that team that brought them to where they are. Now we shift to the NFL where we're talking about the same thing. Josh Allen, the only one that's bringing them there. Josh Allen MVP. Speaking of MVPs, Josh Allen, MVP, Josh Allen MVP.
Yes, correct.
I want to talk about Patrick Mahomes' injury. I want to talk about it. Obviously, I don't ever want to see a player get injured. I'd rather them have really bad diarrhea before the game and not be able to play because of that. High ankle sprain for Mahomes with the 2 games they have coming up. So Saturday and then a quick turnaround to play on Christmas on Wednesday. Carson Wentz would be the backup. Now, with the games that they have coming up in the quick turnaround, how do we think that bodes for them? What do we think the outcome of that is? Do we think it's like a morale killer? Do we think it's what are we thinking about the injury? Texans, Steelers, Broncos the next 3 games. You get the Texans Saturday, Steelers Wednesday. What are we thinking, Justin? I'll start with you.
Me?
Yeah, Caleb's muted.
Oh, okay.
He's
yeah.
unmuted. Oh, he's
I
muted.
mean, to be honest, I don't even think it's going to change at all or matter at all. I think he's even still going to play. Even if not, they're 2 games. I don't even think they need a 1 seed kind of thing. Would it be nice? Yeah, the bye week. Yeah, that would be super cool. But yeah, they're already 2 games ahead, which means they would. Oh man, unless the Bills drop one because they have the head-to-head. Can I see them winning the 2 games? I don't see them really affecting too much of what it is. To be honest, they don't score a lot of points anyway. The defense is going to carry them. I think Carson Wentz could literally go in there and do the same thing. They get some points on the board. Defense is going to stop them. They're going to win with a doink off the thing, and yeah, and the last drive of the game, and their field goal is going, or the other team field goal kicker is going to miss a 10-yard field goal, and that's just how the Chiefs win. So the Black Magic team. I don't think it's going to affect too much. They might do some limited plays. Maybe they do a half and half thing. I mean, they already solidified their spots in the postseason. I don't see anything happening from it.
I would agree with everything Justin said. I do have one addition too, is this exact same thing happened last year. Oh no, Patrick Mahomes high ankle sprain, and then he played every single game regardless, and it didn't really matter. And he was limping, and Chris Collinsworth, oh look at him limp, he's so out there. Yeah, we already know how that's gonna go. So, and then he won a Super Bowl, which but yeah, I think yeah, I also I don't think it's really gonna matter. Uh, it would excite me if they lose here to the Texans this week, and then against the Steelers on Christmas. That would be 2 games in a row. That would be
Merry
so splendid because
Christmas.
that's my Christmas present. I want the Steelers to dominate them on Christmas. I think that would be the greatest NFL gift for me. I don't know if it'll happen, but that would be really cool. But yeah, I agree with everything Justin said too.
By the way, when we were talking about college, I went to go look at like the bracket, and it played a video, so that's going to be in the recording. No one's going to notice. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
That's
Sweet.
hilarious.
The new college play, and I was like trying to mute it real quick.
I can literally see the panic on your face,
I was
dude.
like, "Oh,
That's
shit, oh,
hilarious.
shit."
Here's the thing: the Bills aren't going to drop a game against the Jets in New England twice. So you're looking at a 14-3 record at the end of the year. I can see the Kansas City Chiefs without Mahomes this week losing to the Houston Texans. Even with Mahomes, I can see them losing. But if Mahomes is out for an extended period, they have a quick turnaround against the Steelers. I can see them dropping that game as well. And then it comes down to the last game. For the Chiefs at least, because the Bills are not losing. Unless they put in like their punter at quarterback. And a couple linemen in at wide receiver to rest the starters. So really, the question is for the 1 seed, what it means for the number 1 seed in the playoff implications.
We should talk about that next week too to see if
We
see what
will.
you guys
I'm
think
sure we
about
will.
like, is it actually beneficial to be a 1 seed?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We will discuss it. So really, the race there for the 1 seed is super close, and without Mahomes, I think it just draws real close. Honestly, I don't know, because Mahomes really isn't playing that great this year. He's really not. Like Brother said, it's their defense that's keeping them in games and winning them games, and the black magic factor. Don't forget that. Speaking of close, got the NFC North. We talked about a little bit. You got the Lions, Vikings, and the Packers. Within 2 games, 10-4 and third in your division is absolutely banana bonkers. In the NFC West, that whole division is within 2 games. So you got the top 3: Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay. Chicago is in that division too. And then the NFC West, all within 2 games, with 3 games left. Now, that division, literally anybody can win the division still. Any single team. The Niners could still win the division. Everybody loses all 3 games except for the Niners. The Niners win out. They can win the division. At this point in the season, I want to see what you guys think. Who you guys think, mainly about the NFC West, who you think is going to win that division. Caleb, I'll start with you.
Oh, you'll actually start with me this time. That's cool. Thanks, buddy. Anyways,
Okay,
yeah,
Justin,
NFC
go
West.
ahead. Just kidding.
All right. So what I was thinking.
How could this happen? Anyways, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a tight race all the way, until now. Exactly. It's okay, I'm used to being bullied. But, anyways, Rams, Seahawks, both 8-6. Rams are winning because their conference garbage, whatever. And they're head-to-head. That's what it is. Anyways, Rams. They had that Week 18 game against the Seahawks too. I think that's going to be a huge game for them to win. I think it might honestly come down to that Week 18 game against each other. But for me right now, if I had to go ahead and throw up a team to win, I think it's the Rams. I think they're, they started off the season very poorly, but I think they're getting hot when they need to. And while that game against the 49ers wasn't super pretty, I think, it was a bad weather conditions too, but I think they have the means to do it. I think they have the means to take it away. And plus, we don't know the extent of Gino's injuries. If it's gonna, hinder him at all, I don't see the Seahawks pulling out a lot more wins. It's gonna be tough for him, especially this week too. I think they'll probably even lose this week, which is gonna, it's gonna take them out. Cardinals, I don't entirely see taking over. So yeah, I got the Rams for the West. I think they pull it out. I think they got hot exactly when it needed to at the end of the season, and I don't see them stopping. As for the North, um, yeah, it's really right now a race: Lions, Vikings, and I don't see the Lions losing anymore. I think they just got that dog in them or that lion in them. Anyways, yeah, I think they're gonna win out. I think the Vikings are gonna win out too, but just because of the way that the tiebreakers and stuff worked out, I think the Lions are just gonna. Yeah, I think they're gonna pull it out.
Well, they do play each other on the last.
They do. They do. Yes, exactly. Week 18 is going to be a huge week, but yeah.
They very well could both
Lions.
win their next two games
could
and have
tie.
a face-off for number one.
But yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and then they could tie Week 18, and then what?
That'd be
Then
kind
the
of
Lions
cool.
would still win, actually.
That'd be kind of cool.
But yeah, I think the Lions win all the way out. So
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, for me, this is what I said. This is what I'm looking at. Cowboys have a
Football.
less than 1% chance to make it, but can the Commanders realistically lose all 3 games that they have left?
Yes.
Let's see. We have a Week 18 again against the Commanders. They play the Eagles. I mean, they can lose that one.
Copium.
Falcons. I mean, they're horrible, but I mean, you never know. The Falcons can pull out a win, and then we play them Week 18, but that would mean someone else. I think another team would have to actually. Yeah, the Seahawks would have to lose a couple games. Falcons would have to lose a game. Oh, this could happen actually. The Seahawks.
Yeah,
lose,
no.
Seahawks
if you guys
lose
win
2
out,
games, and the Falcons lose a game, and we win out, and the Commanders lose. I mean, there's a possibility there. I can see it happening. I don't even know what I'm thinking about. It's not going to happen. Okay, so I see 2 teams out of the West. And I think it's going to come down to their matchup, and who wins it is going to take the division. The Rams and the Cardinals. And here's why. The Seahawks are going to lose this week, which will pretty much blow all their chances. The Cardinals are going to easily beat the Panthers this week, which will put them a game behind the Rams, let's say. So it's between those two. Top of the thing. The Rams have the last 2 divisional. I mean, that Cardinals game, week 16, week 17, whatever. I think we play 18 weeks now. It is going to be the matchup that decides it. I don't know who has it if the Cardinals win there. Who edges out the head-to-head or whatever, how the rankings work or division or however it goes in. There's like a billion ways they do it now, but I think that's going to really decide it. And then the Cardinals have the 49ers to finish it off to make it to playoffs. So I think whoever wins that game, Cardinals-Rams, are going to be your division champions.
You know, it's actually funny you say that too, because the Cardinals and the Rams are the only 2 teams in that division that have 2 divisional games left.
Oh wow.
Seahawks have 1, Niners have 1, and they each have 2 divisional games left. And those games are huge. Those games are actually massive. The Rams have the Cardinals and the Seahawks back-to-back, week 17 and 18. And obviously, the Cardinals will have the Rams and the Niners in the last week.
And
So-
yeah, as far as the NFC North, I have the Packers winning. The Lions and Vikings lose out, and the Packers. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Dude,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I believe in Dan Campbell. Give me the Lions there too. Even though we keep underwriting the Vikings here, man, I could see the same thing. That it's another one of those matchups. Whoever wins is gonna win. That's what it comes down to. So
I can realistically see both of those
I think the
teams
Lions will
winning. I can see them both winning their next two. Lions for sure winning their next two, which really doesn't bode well for the Niners. But then that last game, man, that might be regular season game of the year. I'm not even kidding.
Could be seed 1 right there too.
I think that's what we're looking at, honestly. In the last week, I think the two divisions that we're talking about here might have regular season game of the year.
Eagles are gonna win out. So
They could, but for respective divisions, you know what I mean. So obviously, if the Eagles win out, they get the 1 seed. But for the NFC North and NFC West, that last game of the year could be who clinches the respective divisions. So that could be really cool. That's something to look forward to, something to look into. It's anything could happen any given Sunday. And man, it's a hell of a season so far. I forgot to do a prediction, like a season prediction this year at the beginning, but I think there's a lot of mix-ups that I wouldn't have had.
well, half the spots
Yep.
are taken. 7 are already confirmed to be into the playoffs. So we only got half. The spots left.
It's wild. I mean, there's only 3 weeks left, and we still have half the spots still open. Cowboys could do it, but they're not gonna. And let's talk about the. Let's go back to the Detroit Lions, because last week major loss in David Montgomery. We kind of brushed on it a little bit when we were doing pick'ems. They are not the only team that lost a pretty big piece to their running back room. It is more impactful for the Lions losing David Montgomery than it is, say, like the Cleveland Browns losing Nick Chubb for the year. Nick Chubb, I mean, it's almost a guarantee that he's going to go out at one point. But coming down the stretch, injury implications and what the impact is on their team in the playoff hunt. I kind of want to see where you guys are at, and what injuries are kind of drawing your attention, and what it means for the team, whatever team, obviously they play for. So, Caleb, we're gonna go with Dustin first.
Cool. It's cool. I didn't know. It's cool, guys.
Okay, we'll go with Caleb first, since Justin.
No,
doesn't
no.
talk.
Let's have Justin go first. No, seriously, come on. Let's hear from him. Awesome. Just straight crickets. Is he actually dead?
Am I actually going?
Yes.
Oh, injuries. What it means.
Also, not only for the team, but for your playoff implications in fantasy football.
Yeah, it's always a huge, especially. I mean, the first thing we kind of talked about already, Montgomery Lions. What is that going to mean for Gibbs? Is this going to be? It's almost like a risk thing in the playoffs. Is he going to take off and be the workhorse? And oh my gosh, he's scoring 30 points a game, or is it like, oh wow, he really needed Montgomery in to share the back to really see his potential there. It's always really tough, going into playoffs when every team's supposed to be off the bye. You got all your starters, you know who's your start. You picked up all your waivers, you got your lineups all set, and then boom, you get to throw the wrench in there. You can't have any room for play in the fantasy playoffs, guys. Okay, there's 4 weeks of it. 2 weeks against the same opponent. You can't go down that many points. Otherwise, you're out of it. By the way, Caleb, I'm winning. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the playoff teams and the starters going out, it all plays into factor. You know, if you lock the 1 seed and the Chiefs win this week, what is that going to mean? You know, you got Pacheco coming back. I mean, do you even have a wide receiver on your fantasy team from them? Do you even have Mahomes on your fantasy from them? Probably not. That's probably a bad example, but you know, benching starters, the Bills. You know, what's going to happen? They got 3 easy teams. Rest before the playoffs. That's all got to be before your championship year because I'm going to win because I'm ahead. What has to go into your team to win? And that's why we're all fantasy managers here, and I'm going to win. But that's it.
Oh, your quarterback too. I want to pick up on that. Is the MVP of the NFL, so that's the only reason why you're winning. I mean,
I do, Josh Allen.
I'm only down 11 points, but that's because Josh Allen consistently gets 40 points in fantasy every single week, and that's because he's the MVP. So I mean, I guess that's good for you, but you know, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I do have David Montgomery in like almost all of my leagues. So that's just great. I was also one of those fools that picked up Nick Chubb, picked up Christian McCaffrey, and stashed him. Yeah, yeah. Look at me, laugh at me. Well, yeah, I did it to myself in the mirror for about 30 minutes while shedding tears. This morning. So, you know, it is what it is. However, I will say, other than that league, I'm winning most of them besides one other one. But that league we don't really look at. That league just crumbled right in front of my very own eyeballs. So yeah, I try not to pay attention to that league, but every other league, you know, is going very well. I mean, there's one league I'm absolutely crushing in, and yeah, but yeah, as far as injuries go, like in the real NFL, you know, the Lions, like I said earlier, 22 on the IR is just absolutely horrendous. David Montgomery being one of those is definitely going to hurt their offense. You know, split backfield has worked for them so well. So it is going to hurt them offensively a little bit. But I still think they're absolutely fantastic. I don't think it's going to have too much effect on them. Their defense, whoo-wee, that's bad. That is very bad. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. And then Brandon.
I have in one of my leagues. I've only made playoffs in 2 different leagues. I was very close in the rest of them.
Sounds so
Uh,
sad.
It's very sad, but what are you gonna do? It's really not up to me. I draft, and then what happens happens. I did, however, earlier in the season. You guys know this. I traded George Pickens for CMC. Great trade value up front, but turned out to be not so good. Jahmyr Gibbs is my starting running back in one of the playoff leagues that I have. And oh my God, I can't wait. I'm already winning 170 to 101 in this playoff matchup, so it's kind of like, yeah, cool. Obviously, that's kind of a runaway. I'm probably going to win that matchup at the other league. I'm behind right now. And it just happened to be one of those things where the other guy's team, he has no injuries, and he's got a stacked team. I also have no injuries, and my team is also stacked, but not doing anything. So for me, there's really no huge impact on running back injuries and implications and things like that. But I think what we got to do, what we got to start looking at, is not only look at the injuries on the teams, but those teams that, like, you have their starting running back and they're already in a playoff spot, possibly clinch the division. Start looking at picking up the backups. You know, the back end players that, you know, once they sit their starters, you know, right before playoffs, they're going to put in their backups to save their star running backs. Start looking at that to pick them up for some sneaky points people don't really think about too much too often. if you got some room on your bench, definitely start to look at picking up some backup running backs, especially ones that, like I said, are way in the playoff picture and really don't have a worry to sit there starting running backs. All right. Well, we're kind of running a little bit long this week. We kind of went potato brain for a little bit, which is fine. It happens. It happens from time to time. With us, it happens very often. So, we're going to move on to everybody's favorite game of the week.
It's time for It's Okay, It's Not Okay.
And we're going to step into the holiday scene a little bit. So, I'll set the scene for you, right? You go over to your family's house and you guys sit down for Christmas dinner. Whether you're having ham, whether you're having turkey, whether you're having
Space garbanzo beans.
space garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo space beans.
The garbanzo space beans, right?
Messing it up.
So you sit down for dinner, and this year we have 2 Christmas Day games, one at 1 and one at 4:30. So you're looking at lunch and close to dinner time. So you get to dinner. These games are on. It's your favorite team or your least favorite team. You want to see them lose. In my case, the Chiefs versus the Steelers. Is it okay to excuse yourself from the dinner table to sit on the couch and watch Christmas Day football? Brother Caleb, we will start with you.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Anyways, yeah. So like, Christmas is cool. Family time is great. It's one of those holidays where I think most, it's like where most people travel just to see their family. It's the most family gathering holiday, especially much more than that other holiday in like the last month. I forgot its name. Sorry, I can't even think about it right now. But yeah, I mean, everyone comes together. Christmas, whoop, yeah, we get to celebrate. And football. Football's on. Can't miss it. There's a possible couple games of the week on Christmas coming up, and yeah, it's a sad reality, but football is better than family. I think if I had the Buffalo Bills over you guys, I would take the Buffalo Bills 9 times out of 10. The other one is that Rams game. That's the only 1 out of 10. If I have to watch that over and over again, I'd pick you guys probably. But yeah, I think it's fine. You know what? I'd even one up this one, and I'd say, you know what? Hey everyone, let's move the dinner to the TV. All right, we're watching football. This is our Christmas right now. It's gonna be football, and if you guys say no, then you obviously hate me and don't want to see me for Christmas, and that's all on your fault. So yeah, I think it's totally fine. I think if you got to do all your family stuff, get together, do your presents, you do that before, or shoot, even save it for after if you're really not that excited. Definitely before though. That's the move. I think it's totally fine. Not the whole game. I wouldn't sit there the whole game. Obviously halftime exists. Go see them for like maybe that 15 minutes and then come right back. You can't miss any single other second of it. So yeah, I think it's totally okay.
You know what? I can go back and forth on this one for sure. Especially you have everyone over and you're just, everyone's talking, having a good time at a table, and you're just like a few feet shoved in the corner watching football. But what is family if you're not watching a Christmas Day? It's a present already for us. Thanksgiving Day football. You can't live without it. Christmas Day football. I mean, this is what we live for, guys. This is our present for the day. I would flip the it's okay, it's not okay to say, if you're starting dinner during a Christmas Day football game, that is not okay. So either halftime it, you miss a little bit of the third quarter, the dinner goes over a little bit, whatever. That seems perfectly fine for me. but yeah, as Caleb said, if you're not over watching the game on the couch with me, then that's your fault. So I'm gonna say it's perfectly okay for this. Now you can go back and forth here because it is one of those special holidays that everyone gathers for. So folks that I'm just gonna keep it with the dinner. You got to push it back or halftime it or something. Yeah, it's okay to watch a football game. We live for this kind of thing. And yeah, what is family if they're not joining you for it?
So I'll tell you this. I'll give you an answer to that. So we, the wife and I, have pretty much said that Christmas Day is going to be the day from here on out where we stay home. We don't go anywhere. If people want to see us, they can come to us. I am the only person in my household that is a fan of football. For now. Kids are young. They have time. Easton will be a football fan. He'll be a Bills fan, or he will be moving out. I'm the only one that watches football, so on Christmas Day, the kids open up their presents, they're playing with all their toys. You sit down, you have lunch. We've also said that we're not going to do like the whole cooking thing. Like, we're not going to bust our ass on Christmas and make this extravagant meal and sit down and with candles and all that stuff. We're really just going to do like finger foods and picking foods and stuff like that. If there was something going on, right? If my attention was needed, and I said, "Nah, I'm watching football. Good luck, Merry Christmas. You guys can do whatever you want," I would end up sleeping in the garage, more than likely. So, in my stance, and I will say this on behalf of Jenny, it is not okay to excuse yourself from your family duties on Christmas to watch football. But for myself, oh yeah, it's okay. I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. Sleep in the garage. Go Bills. They're not even playing, but
He
yeah.
already has
But
his sleeping bag out there ready to go.
we I have a little space heater and everything. I will say this though, Christmas Day, it's not aired on TV. It's aired on Netflix, and we saw the last time Netflix tried to air a
Yeah.
very big event. So it's a little shake up from your normal televised football on Christmas.
They better be prepared for that.
Basically, my final say on the whole matter is, especially in my situation, it is okay because I'm not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We can have Christmas movies and stuff on. If I really need to, I'll throw it on the computer and have it running and sit in here while the kids play with the toys. So yeah, it's we got a clean sweep here. It is okay as long as you want to stay married. I mean, take the risk of not being married.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let us know if any of you disagree over on Twixter. We're going to post that it's okay, it's not okay. Follow us on TikTok as well. Have you been doing some stuff over there? Should be. Let's get a next Thursday, 8 a.m. podcast video on YouTube at the Fastcast. If you haven't seen or known already, we're gonna be there every week, every Thursday, no matter what day it is, and we'll see y'all for this was week 16. So oh my gosh, 2 weeks left. Week 17 is next week. We'll catch you all then. Thank you guys for tuning in, and of course the Cowboys will make the playoffs this year. We'll see you.
Merry Christmas.